Welcome straight from the chest, Wednesday Wrath. I am your host, Justin Groth. Thank you guys for listening. I expressed the other day, or actually the other podcast, I mentioned that I love to watch Live PD and I love to watch Shark Tank. Those are a couple of my favorite shows. And I got to thinking about it, and I really think that the reason why I love those shows is because I love the psychology behind the human expressions and the expressions that people make. And when it comes to like the perpetrators, we'll call them, on Live PD, the kinds of outs that they come up with, their excuses and their excuses in the midst of their blunders, and I just get a kick out of it because I get a kick out of seeing people lie. I get a kick out of seeing people kind of divert around the truth and try their best to do so and actually try to display reverse psychology on the officers like they don't know what's going on. Like they can't dissect that. And in Shark Tank, I mean, I love business. I mean, yeah, I love the entrepreneurial space, but again, the psychology behind getting people to have somebody else invest in their company and displaying something that they feel is of interest to somebody else. And it also goes along with infomercials too, because I love infomercials. But I don't love infomercials on the actual item being sold or promoted. I love watching infomercials to study the psychology behind these people that are endorsing them and just dissecting them. I think I just love dissecting human psychology. And I always have ever since a young kid. I mean, you can ask my mom. She's super aware of that. And I think it maybe stems from her and from my dad, and because they're very in tune with psychology and breaking people's mannerisms and expressions down, etc. So I think that's where it stems from. And that just gets my wheels turning, keeps me stimulated. And also because, again, with Live PD, it's never going to be something reciprocal or over, it's never going to be the same thing over and over again. You're going to always see something that's different. And it almost makes me want to go into law enforcement. At least it did when I was a little bit younger. And I just love it. I just love the whole human interaction, and I think that's the reason why I'm in fitness. I don't think I know. That's the reason why that's a huge part of the reason why I'm in fitness, because I love interacting with humans and I love challenging them. I love dissecting them. And that shouldn't be taken in any kind of, deviant or negative way. I just love human psychology, and I love the wiring of the brain and why people say what they say. Like, for instance, I was just watching this YouTube ad that came on before one of the videos I was watching, and it was this guy promoting his push-up product. And it was a contraption where you do a push-up and then you bring the arms together to create a adduction contraction through the chest. And so as he's talking about it, I really watch those to see if he really believes in his own product as much as his character is expressing that he does. And you know what's a true testament of the kind of investment that person has, or the belief, the authentic belief that they have in their product is? You can see it in their eyes. The eyes will never lie. The eyes will never tell you that, even if the good person is a great actor, the eyes will never tell you that person really believes in their product if they really don't. The eyes will tell you different. And it's just the subtlest of the subtlest of changes in the expression of the person's face, or a redirection of their eyes can put the consumer that has a trained eye in this in a position of like disbelief. Like, I don't know if he really knows his space that well, or I don't really know that he really believes in this product all that much. And I think if he doesn't believe in it that much, he's just trying to make a buck. And that should never be the stimulus or the driver behind producing a product. The production of a product, or the the ignition of something that you, or the ignition of a product, or the inviting of a new product should be, or the invention rather, should be because you know this is going to make people better. You're actually warranting something that somebody can benefit from, right? Like you're providing a need to somebody. And in the process, you collect $1 for the need that you're providing, right? That's only fair. But if the expression says, if the cart is put before the horse, you won't be successful, at least not integrally, right? And integrity is all that matters for the long scale. And so this guy, as I'm watching him love his product, he loves his product, and there may be a touch of narcissism within his own character, and that's the reason why he loves his product so much, because he invented it, and so clearly there's a bias there. But I had a hard time believing, and now this is the ad that he actually paid for to put on YouTube. This is something that's been edited and probably redone over and over again, and this is the final product. And even in his final product, I didn't really gather that he really loved his product that much. And because of that, it was hard for me to get invested. Now, it wasn't even in my cortex of thoughts that I was going to buy this product. It was just something that I was intrigued by in how he was authenticating what he was promoting. And I just didn't get it. And I think all too often, it's hard for us to believe something when we can't really pick up an authentic expression from the person who's delivering it. And that could be a message, that could be something of a product that someone's endorsing. And if you can't pick up on that person's enthrallment and investment in what they're providing to you, then how can you be assured that this is something that you need, or this is something that's going to benefit you? And I've spoken on a podcast about this umpteen months ago. Is that even a word, umpteen? I don't know, but if it is, I'm going to use it. I say a lot, it's probably like 5 months ago that I spoke on this, but it was called Snake Influencers. And snake influencers have one goal in mind, and that's to be rich and to influence you and redirect you into their format, their web space, to make you buy things and make you, well, that, I guess money's not their sole purpose, but it is one of their purposes. And they start to idolize the process of making money rather than the process of making people better, which by default is going to make them money. So they're putting the cart before the horse in terms of the way I feel. And I can't get behind someone like that. I have to believe that what you're saying, and it's coming out through the expressions of your face, your facial mannerisms, your not so much your words, but your facial expressions, and the way that your tone of voice is being brought across in what you're talking about. That's going to make me believe whether or not you believe what you're promoting, as well as the eyes. So if I can't pick up on that, then I'm not going to be with you, right? And I believe that in our own lives, God, you can't ask for a better motivational speaker than God. You just can't. But at the same time, because he's not talking to you directly, and you can't see his eyes, you can't see the entrustment that he has within his own self to you, displayed to you, and you can't see his mannerisms, and you can't hear his vocals, and you can't pick up on his dialect. You can't really believe in it. It's hard to believe in something like that. You just are called to be faithful. We're just called to be faithful that he's going to do what he says he's going to do, and that he's going to bring to pass what we feel viscerally that he wants to do within us. And he uses people along the way to better authenticate what he wants to do, or better to formalize, so we can understand and we can latch on to another seed of belief that what he wants to do is adamant and is concrete. But we still don't really know, because it's not like he's talking to us every single day, motivating us, inspiring us. He just does it through other people. But he calls on us to be faithful, and that we'll continue the process even if we don't know what it looks like, and even if we can't see it, and even if we don't have instructional videos telling us how to go about it. We have to believe that there's more. We have to have faith. Faith is the single-handedly biggest thing you could have. Like, bar none. Just if you can have faith, you can go super far. But if you have no faith, the opposite happens. And so, much like we go to the gym to work out, we go to the gym to build our bodies up, to get more muscle, to get stronger. And a lot of times we don't see any changes in the mirror. We don't see any changes on the scale. We don't see any changes on the bar, right? So meaning physically we're not changing. Physiologically we're not changing. Structurally we're not changing. But what drives us to continue to go to the gym? Some of it can be an addiction, right? Some of it can be just, and I think most of us that are not antiquating this into the process, it's a hope. Now, I know you say you might be arguing me right now with that, because you're not really hoping, because you're applying action, right? But you don't know how your body is really going to manufacture the proteins. You can't direct that. You can't say, okay, body, I want you to put these proteins of what I'm eating right now into this muscle right now. You can't. You have no authority over that. You have no direction over that. So your course is hope. That's your mental course. You hope that your body does right with what you're feeding it. You hope that the efforts that you displayed in your workout go to positive manifestation of that area of your body. You hope. That's all we can do. Look, I'm a full-fledged bodybuilder. I hope that I can continue to make growth. I hope that I can continue to make strides. That doesn't mean I'm sitting on the couch and doing nothing. That doesn't mean I'm just flipping through the TV and eating Cheetos and saying, I hope I get some muscle from these Cheetos I'm eating. No, I'm putting in the work daily, and I'm eating as I should daily, and I'm continuing to do this year after year. So if that's my predication over my body, and that's what I'm utilizing my hope for in my body, why wouldn't the same principles apply to my purpose in life? It does. It has to. You may not understand why you're waking up every day going to your 9 to 5. You may not understand why you're having this discourse with a coworker or with your family member. You may not understand why so-and-so is getting promoted and you're not, when you're clearly more capable of the job. You may not understand, but your job is to not have to understand, but to have faith that the creator of you knows your course and knows how to direct your path for your ultimate elevation. That's why we continue to go to the gym. That's why you continue to live integrally. That's why you continue to be your best every day. It's not because you think, well, I'm just clocking the time card in. This is another day. Boom. Like, it's not going to amount to anything. You clock that time card. You punch that clock because you're a step closer to your ultimate progression, to your ultimate trajectory. That's something that's going to happen in time, but you got to have faith and hope in the process. See, again, we go train, we work out because we want to hope that we can get stronger and get better through our efforts and through what we're eating and through the ways of stress management and sleep, etc. But we don't know for sure that that's going to happen. But we don't stop because we don't know for sure. We continue to grind it out. And as much as I hate that word grind, it applies. It applies here. We continue to grind it out. We continue to wake up every day with the hope that there's more He's doing in our life. Because the fact of the matter is, there is. We just got to keep waiting. Because who knows, in a month's time, we could come into a new trajectory shift. In a day's time, we could come into a new trajectory shift. Or it may take a year or 3 more years. You don't know, but you keep going. Because really, you have nothing else better to do but to continue to be your best. And so that's why we keep plugging. That's why we keep continuing. Because look, if we're alive another day, there's clearly something He's still manifesting in our life. There's clearly something back behind the orchestration of His events and His doing that we still have to come in contact with. So we must keep pressing. Just like we're continuing to exercise our bodies, we're continuing to eat well because we know we want to see a better us. We got to continue to press away in the integral path and continue to be our best because we got to know and we got to hope and we got to have faith that there's something more that He's going to use us for. And it may not be just on the communion end. It may be on a global end. But if it's on the global end and the international end and He's going to use you for massive movement, then you got to know that your testimony is going to have to be a little bit heavier than someone else's, which means you're going to have to go through more challenge, more struggle, which means you're going to have to become more resilient. But it's only because He's going to use you for a much bigger purpose than even you had in mind for your best. You must continue. This is something that should be non-negotiable. It has to be in your back pocket because you know that there's something more He's doing in your life. There's something though it's producing for you and you're thankful for it. And even though that, it's providing for your family, but it's not it. There's so much more. And you have no other choice. You should have no other choice but to continue in the trajectory that's integral and authentic and having hope and displaying hope even if you don't understand the outcome. Displaying faith even if you don't understand the certainty that lays ahead. You have no other option, at least. You shouldn't have any other option.